everyone, it's Kirsty and I am back talking with you today about what if. What if I did something? What if this happens? What if I don't remember? What if? So what if? You know, it's a commonly used phrase with anyone suffering from OCD, but let me just say this. What if can be used by anyone. You know, everyone can say, what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, everybody uses that phrase sometimes, but I think the difference is when you suffer from OCD, you dwell on it. That's the big difference. You dwell. And the thing is, it spirals, and then it'll go to what if this happens. I'm going to give a scenario that's something that I've gone through because my themes have changed over the years, but I know I did go through a bit of contamination. You know, what if this had blood on it? What if it wasn't clean? You know, what if it had infected blood on it? You know, what if I might get some kind of disease from that? You know, what if it just goes down and down and down that rabbit hole, you know, and that is the big difference, because you're dwelling and catastrophizing. You know, it just takes on a whole other level. And you know, I've had some awful and they're intrusive thoughts at the end of the day. You know, I've had thoughts whereas what if I'm capable of something terrible? You know, what if I'm capable of harming my child? Or what if, you know, I don't remember? And that was really hard. And that kind of goes then into kind of false memories, and you know, you're trying to remember what happened, and you'll say, well, what if I don't remember? You know, these what ifs, they just keep coming, you know. And it can get really challenging then, because the mind, you know, and I think the mind of someone with OCD, it's very imaginative. You know, you seem to come up with all these different scenarios of what could go wrong. And that's the thing. It's the doubting disease, you know, it really is. You know, you doubt, you know, it's the uncertainty. It's all of these things, you know, and you definitely use what if a lot. You know, I know it's something that you might recognize maybe in someone that you know, or someone that maybe doesn't understand and they don't realize they have OCD. You know, you might hear them saying, but what if? And it's only really when it takes over, you know. It's like I say, it's normal, you know, it's a normal phrase, you know, people use it a lot, but it goes beyond that really. You know, it starts to really interfere with your life, you know, and then it becomes a problem, it becomes a big problem. And you might then engage in the compulsions to try and release that feeling. You know, you're thinking, well, if I do this routine over here, this repetitive action, that'll stop something bad from happening. You know, if I count to whatever number, it'll stop something bad from happening. But sometimes it doesn't feel right either. You know, you might think, oh, I've done this like ritual, but it doesn't feel right. I need to do it again. So you do it again. And it just takes over. It really does. So if that's something you recognize in yourself, or, you know, someone you love, someone you care about, you know, don't get worried. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it is OCD. It just it's definitely something you'll hear a lot with OCD. It's just that doubt and the dwelling, you know, the what if scenario. So it's important to kind of break that cycle really. You know, we all have these thoughts. What if this could happen, or what if something bad happens, you know? And it's terrifying, you know, it's a real terrifying thing to go through. But people without OCD, they'll just dismiss these thoughts and think, oh, that's not a nice thought, you know, and they're on with their day. But when it really takes over, it can really distress people. You know, it's not nice to think about these things. And I've had times when these thoughts have really taken over. And I remember I remember once years ago, this was when I was younger, and we'd go on holiday, and I wouldn't use, if they had like utensils or cups in the accommodation, I wouldn't use those. I would ask my mum to get me plastic disposable, I'd have to get disposable cups, disposable knives and forks, because I wouldn't use those, because what if they didn't wash them properly, what if there's a trace of some kind of contamination on that cup, I think it can just, and it just gets worse and worse, and then it'll move on to other things. But what if I didn't do that right? What if I didn't do that compulsion right? I need to do it again. And it'll take over everything. It'll just move on to everything. And the what if is hard, because you don't really get a clear answer. You'll ask yourself, well, what if? And there's no answer, especially if you're going over old things that happened as well. We don't always remember exactly what happened or what was said in a conversation. What if I said something that offended someone? That was another one of mine. And I'm not that type of person. You know what? I think a lot of people with OCD, they're just really nice people. They don't want to hurt anyone. They just want everyone safe and well. And I really do. I really believe that. I really, we care. We do care. We love life. We love our families. You just want to know that everyone's okay. And, and everybody does, but I think with OCD and the people that have it, they tend to be very sensitive people. And I know I'm not going to sit here and say that this is conclusive, because I'm not an expert, but in my experience, the people that I have known with the OCD disorder are very sensitive individuals, and we care a lot, but it's just doing things in the right way that don't distress and take us down unhelpful paths with the obsessive compulsive disorder, intrusive thoughts and compulsive behaviours. I just hope this video has given you a bit of insight really into the what if scenario and why it's done, and maybe when it goes too far, when it goes beyond being a normal kind of thing that we might say now and again to just really causing problems. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gave you a bit of information, and I look forward to discussing more maybe in my next video about false memories, because I know I touched on it here. And maybe, this is something you can relate to, and comment below, let me know how this has affected you, and I'll see you in my next video.